Hey guys, it's Angela. I just wanted to pop in here this morning for a few minutes and talk to you about one of the comments that's popped up on the group this morning when I asked about celebrations today. What's been happening in your week? What have you got to share with us? What have you been creating, working on, achieving? What are you feeling really good about? Well, one of the things that came up from one of our members, the lovely Chrissy Crust, who's also in one of my Circle masterminds, she talked about the fact that she started to implement the AB week, which I'm a huge proponent of, and I'm really delighted to see that it's been helping her. But if you've read that comment and you're going like, well, what the heck is an AB week? Well, I thought I'd pop in here and explain it to you because it's something that can transform the way that you work, the way that you cope with all of those things that your business and life throws at you, and something that I've been utilizing for about 4 or 5 years now. So I just want to give you the philosophy behind it and actually show you my own calendar and how it works. So the concept of an AB week, it especially works well when you have to front face clients, when you're working as a coach or a consultant or a designer or any of those service-based businesses where you can have some flexibility over the way that you build your diary. Now, when I very first started coaching and mentoring, this is back in 2013 is when I started this phase of my business. Up till 2012, I was running a marketing agency with staff, so it was a very different scenario. But way back then, when I started bringing in new clients, I would allow bookings and workshops and coaching sessions whenever, 24/7. If it worked for you, it worked for me. But the thing is that after a while, it doesn't. And your calendar can get incredibly cluttered and blocked up and you get a bit burnt out and resentful. So that's when I started to bring in, I think it was about 2014, the penny dropped, and I started to bring in this A-B scheduling. Now, what it means is that if you have regular clients or if you have regular coaching and service provision in that respect, you bring that all into an A week. That's the week when you're doing all of those appointments. You contrast that with a B week where you don't have, as much as you can help it, appointments and client bookings. That's the week when you have the breathing space where you can actually work a lot more on your business rather than in it. So I'm just going to share my calendar for a sec so you can see what I mean. Oh, and I've got iTunes open, so let's close that for a sec. Now, you should be able to see my calendar here, and this scary looking thing is a B week, is an A week. This is the week when I have the majority of my client appointments. Just to give you an idea, I use a lot of color coding in my Google Calendar. Blue is when I'm running masterminds. Red is when I'm working on my own stuff. Purple is when I'm having client meetings. Green is a very specific corporate client. And yellow is me, playtime and personal stuff. But in a classic A week, all through here is when I am running my client appointments. So you can see mastermind, 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 mastermind. In between their corporate client, there's also some direct mentoring as well. And then a bit of playtime. I really try and keep Fridays free. And Monday is typically when I am doing my own marketing work. So you can see how busy that week is. Now that concept though is that you're in flow. For me to go from mastermind to mastermind, I'm using a very similar part of my brain. I'm working in a very similar way. And so even though the days are pretty intense, I stay in that same space and it makes it a lot easier. Now contrast that, I'll just come across here to a B week. Look at that. Gorgeous B week, lots of space. Okay, I'm not running masterminds in this week. I do have one client appointment, but the majority of this, yellow being my own work and red being when I'm specifically working on a project in my business, and I'm actually going to Adelaide, but this week is a lot more open and free. And that's the huge difference between them. Now, if I had taken my masterminds and gone like, oh my goodness, that's just too hard to have 5 in a week, I'll go crazy, and scattered them throughout the 2 weeks, I wouldn't have the space to work on my business because I'd always be working in it. And that is the very, very simple essence, coming back to Canberra, that is the very simple essence between an A and a B week. Now, it may look different for you, but what we're looking for here is your ability to put boundaries in place and to decide when will I be available for my clients and when will I be available for me, for my business, for my family, whatever it is for you. The difference between having those weeks is I will go to bed earlier on an A week because I know that I'm really going to have to be very on the ball. I'll do things in an A week that keep me very vibrant and ready to create that strategy with my clients. And in a B week, I might sleep in, might binge watch Suits or whatever the case may be, but there's more space there. So I can go into a lot more detail about planning. It's one of, although I'm a fairly spontaneous person, having frameworks within my business, be it with the AB weeks, be it with using the Cascade plan, the weekly planner, a lot of the different tools that I talk about. But the essence is you putting in place those boundaries, putting in place those constructs of how it's best to serve you so that you can both work in and on your business. So that's an A and B week. It's unlikely that you'll be able to look in next week's diary and go, God damn it, I'm starting right now. What you'll most likely have to do is a bit of an education process of your clients and perhaps be working in 3 or 4 weeks. You can start to bring the structure in. But I guarantee you it will change the way that you work. Having those boundaries really looks after you, and that means you'll do a much better job at looking after your clients. So there's my message for the day. I'd love to hear whether or not A and B weeks is something you're already utilizing, or how else it is that you structure your business so that you take great care of you and those that you're serving. Okay, I'm going to go off and enjoy the rest of my Friday in a B week, which means I'm going down the road to do a bit of shopping. Okay, talk soon, guys.